recording. So as I said for you here, the young man asked this old man to give him a pot of water with a spoon. So he just gave him what he did ask him. So the old man gave the young man a large pot of water and a stirring spoon and helped him build a big fire next to his house. The young man took a smooth stone out of his bag and put it in the pot of water. As he stirred the water, the young man mentioned to the old man that the magic soup was always better with a little onion and a head of cabbage. So he asked the old man that the soup is gonna be butter with a little onion. It's gonna be butter with a little onion and a head of cabbage to add extra flavor. So the old man went into his house and returned with what he is already asked him. Who wants to read? Come on, Masa. Could you please read this passage, this paragraph? Masa, I can't hear you. Okay, start.
The old man gave the young man a large pot of water and a stirring spoon and helped him build a big fire next to his house. The young man took a smooth stone out of his bag and put it in the pot of water. As he stirred the water, the young man mentioned to the old man that the magic soup was always better with a little onion and a head of cabbage to add extra flavor. So the old man went into his house of onion and a cabbage.
Thank you. So here, what is his plan? Please, Masa, what's the young man's plan to let the old man to share his food with him? What did he say?
He told him that this is a magic soup.
Great job. This is a magic soup. So it's gonna be better if what?
If you put a head of cabbage and a little bit of onion.
Great job. Great job. So he said that it's gonna be better if we have a little bit of water, a little bit of onion, and a head of cabbage. So the old man go directly to his house to bring those things and returned with a bag of onions and a head of cabbage. So what happened next? Let's see. Baraa, could you please read, Baraa?
Yes.
Read. A neighbor.
A neighbor who was putting out her washing smelled the onions and the cabbage cooking. She went to the old man's house where she was told about a special soup made out of stone. The young man who was stirring the soup mentioned that the magic soup was always very good, but a little bit of meat, perhaps a carrot and some potatoes will add some extra flavor. So the woman went into her house and returned with a chunk of meat and a bunch of carrots and a sack of potatoes.
Great job. So here on. A neighbor means what? The person who is living next door. A person who living next door, next to me. His house is next to me. So my neighbor, I said, my neighbor in the next house directly to my house smelled the onions and the cabbage cooking. Smelled the onions and the cabbage cooking. So she was curious. She was curious. She wants to know what happened, what this smell, what this smell. So she went to the old man's house and asked him. She see the special soup made of stone. The young man was what? Was stirring and stirring, and he said for her that perhaps a carrot and some potatoes would add a special and extra flavor. So the woman, she goes to her house and returned with what? With chunk of meat, bunch of carrots, sack of potatoes, chunk of, bunch of, sack of. These expressions, we use them to know that we have a small piece or a small amount of potatoes, a small amount of carrots, a small amount of meat. So chunk, punch, they means a small amount of something, a chunk of meat, a bunch of carrots, a sack of potatoes. So the old woman or the old woman, she returns with what? She returns with, and she share her meat, carrots, and potatoes with the young man. What happened next? Siraj, could you please read? A little
Yes.
girl.
A little girl who was playing in the street smelled the soup and became
Curious.
curious about curious. She went to the old man's house. The young man tried the soup and mentioned to the girl the magic soup was always very good, but it would be even better with a few beans and a pinch of salt and pepper. So the girl ran into their house and returned with a bowl of beans and some salt and pepper and added them in the pot of soup.
Great job. So, a little girl, she is the same as the old man and the old woman. She was curious. She was curious about the smell. Means she is eager to know. Eager. Curious means eager to know what happened, what this smell. From where this smell. Okay, so she went to the old man's house and see the young man is stirring and mentioned to the girl that this is a magic soup. This is a magic soup. It needs what? It needs a little amount of salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. So it's what? Pinch of salt and pepper. Pinch. Pinch of salt and pepper. Pinch a little bit. a little bit of salt and pepper. So the girl returned with a bowl of beans and some salt and pepper and added them to the pot of soup. So the girl, the old man, the old woman shared their food and their stuff with the young man. At the end, what happened at the end? Come on, Abdul Malik, read what happened at the end here. The woman from the first house. Come on, Abdul Malik, could you please read? Okay, who wants to read?
Me.
Who wants to read?
It's me. Can I read?
Yes.
It's me.
The woman from the first house where the young man had asked for food was in her garden collecting some beans and mushrooms. She smelled the soup and became curious about the smell. So she walked down the lane to old man's house. The young man tried the soup and mentioned that a magic soup was always very good, but a few from the basket would add even more flavor. And the woman gladly added her ingredient into the soup.
Ingredients. Okay. Ingredients. So the woman from the first house where the young man had asked for food was collecting herbs. So she was what? Collecting herbs and mushroom. She smelled the soup and became what? Became what? Curious, yeah, curious. She was curious about the smell. So she walked down the lane. The lane is what? Is a narrow road in a town. Narrow road in a town to the old man's house. She wanted to know, what is this smell? What is this nice smell? So the young man said that this is a magic soup and it was gonna be flavorable if we add what? A few mushrooms and some herbs from her basket. So the woman was gladly to share her ingredients with the young man. Soups. So at the end, what happened? In a while, the soup was cooked and everyone had a bowl of delicious stone soup. So they are all happy. They have a delicious stone soup. No one could believe that such a flavorsome soup could be made from just a stone. So it's what? It's just a trick or a clever plan from the young man to let others share their food with him. So the young man served all people that shared their food with him, and he was happy at the end. Okay? So this is the story, and the lesson we just learned from this story, that sharing is good for all people. So the value we learned is sharing. Sharing food and helping each other is important in our society. I want you at home to read these questions and answer them, okay, guys? So here on also we have here an explanation about the story. I just already mentioned that for you, that the stone soup is what? Is a European story, a European folk story in which hungry strangers convince the people of a town to each share a small amount of their food in order to make a meal that everyone enjoys and exists as a moral regarding to the value of sharing. So it is letting us know that the value of sharing is very important for all people to let be all other people enjoy, even if we don't enjoyable, even if we don't know people, we have to share with them our food and our things. So, and here it's written, the stone is enjoyable, not fit or suitable for eating. So they just let or say that the stone, that the soup is made of stone to let them to trick the people that we can, even if it's not fit or suitable for eating, they just want to let the other to trick them to believe that we have a stone soup and we can make a stone soup. That's it, guys. Here we have some words and their meaning. I want you just to look at them and memorize them. Slightly, spare, weary, curiously, crumb, entire, discourage, stir, smooth, flavor, neighbor, chunk, punch, ingredient, flavorsome, curiosity, and that's it. Okay, guys? So the ordered thing from you, you have to read it, to read the story more than one time, more than 3 times, to get or to be able to read it in a good way, in such a good way. And I want you to do the questions page 30, okay, guys? That's it for the story. Any question?
No.
No.
Well, that's it.